and welcome to our dinner party. We are playing How to Host a Murder, Grapes of Wrath today.
I get it.
This is a game from 1985 that is listed as Vincent Price's favorite game. And what I, with no research or evidence to back this up, am calling the oldest murder mystery game.
It's not.
And I certainly did think so when coming across the box at a yard sale in Idlewild. You have to imagine, you stop at the board game section, you see this. Immediately you pick it up. You open it up to see if the components are inside, untouched, brand new. You see there's a cassette inside and you go, well, I'm gonna need to get a cassette player. Let me see if this yard sale also has a cassette player.
Do you not immediately worry that this is a Jumanji situation?
Now the thing is,
very
there were
excited.
drums playing at the time.
Yeah, but that was
absolutely.
from this cassette player that we found to play it on.
And what's
But
really
that didn't
Oh boy.
So, then we got another cassette player. This one's
I
from
did think
Amazon.
that.
Yeah. To see actual footage of us finding this game in Idlewild. I was so
Phenomenal.
excited.
Yeah.
Now listen, this game starts with an 8-minute narration.
That smells fun.
Board games have only gotten worse since
This
then.
is,
Yeah.
especially considering that this is like, I've convinced like 7 friends to come over to my house
Yeah,
for a
absolutely.
dinner party / murder mystery. Okay, guys, I promise this is gonna be fun. Now listen to 8
8
minutes.
And everyone
Vincent
got
Price
quietly.
was on board though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
He said
That's
it
how
was
you
the
know.
best game.
My favorite game. It's on the box.
It's on the box.
Okay.
So we're gonna find out together,
We're
but
gonna find out.
let's all introduce who we are.
Hello, I'm Kendelle Lyn, and I'm playing Nadia, who is a Russian countess who escaped the revolution.
Hi, I'm Saige Ryan. I am playing Desiree. I am a young, highly motivated businesswoman struggling against tremendous odds to rebuild my family fortune.
Wow.
We love those odds.
Hey, my name is Carlos Luna, and I'm playing Jules T. Heath. You guys, it's just a name.
What?
Y'all, it's just a name. Y'all, it's just a name. I am a jeweler from Paris.
That's good. That's
Paris, Texas. That's my little spin that I'm putting on.
I love it.
That's
I love it.
That's my little spin.
Okay, okay.
Hey, I'm Masood, and I'll be Captain Mal. I'm the master of the gilded vessel, the ship that we all find ourselves on. As the book says, I'm a seaman of renown. I was decorated during World
I don't know
War
why I said,
I.
I don't know why I made the
I really was
the yum sound when
I
you
know.
said semen.
I let it fly until you commented on it.
I'm
It's all
so
good.
sorry. Why are you calling it World War I? Is there
We're
a
sorry, the Great War.
Great
the
War,
only
the only
war.
war
There
that's
was
ever
But
happened.
that's done now.
They were never doing that.
War.
War's done.
Did you say it was 1925?
Oh yeah, it's 1925. Just so you know.
1925.
Yeah.
There'll never be another
There will
war.
never be
Everything's coming up America.
Exactly.
I'm Travis McElroy, and I'm going to be playing Miles F. Latout, which when I said out loud, I realized is Miles Flat Out. And this opening line is my favorite. Miles is a dashing fellow indeed, comma, a race car driver.
Period.
Period. I'm playing Mademoiselle Lucinde Escucci, or as she's known as Lucy Goosey. I can't take credit for that. I thought it was Gucci, and I didn't understand because Gucci means famous. Anyway, she is a Parisian socialite, and she has left a trail of broken-hearted suitors, and she now has the chance to inherit her father's estate at 28, and it's only a year away, and will the fortune be hers?
I knew that apparently I'm a highly sociable person that can often be found in high society gatherings or at the Baccarat table. So I'm going to be making a lot of references to the rules and gameplay of Baccarat that I definitely know.
Yeah, of course.
Read it and weep, boys. Full Baccarat.
I got all the diamonds.
All Baccarats are wild.
Wait, I'm betting on Baccarat.
I got a pair
Box
of
to
Baccarat.
box.
I played the Uno reverse Baccarat.
So this game is technically made to be played by exactly 8 people.
A lot of people.
Yeah, there's no
No
flexibility.
wiggle
Absolutely
room
not.
there.
So we found a workaround for this. Can we get Bex to come in here?
I am,
Come on.
I am, oh shit, where is it?
It's a different color.
Who am I? I am Wellington C. Waterloo, also known as WC. He is known as a businessman and entrepreneur with a record of finance success. That is the envy of investors in London, Paris, thank you,
That's what I said.
Paris,
and New
Texas.
York.
Wow.
New York.
Okay.
Oh.
All
I'm a
right,
business-
thank you, WC.
I am also Bella.
Who is
Who
that?
I am Bella, an opera singer. I'm super cool, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
They had fun.
Thank
They had a
you.
lot of
Thank
fun.
you.
A lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
After a pleasant 1.5-hour voyage from Monte Carlo, the motor yacht Gilded Vessel anchored in a secluded bay. The guests enjoyed a delightful afternoon in the sun and are now gathered for cocktails in the on-deck lounge. It is 7:30 p.m. Saturday, June 7th, 1925. The Mediterranean evening is quiet, the air warm and still. Suddenly, the sound of rapid footsteps is heard in the companionway, and all present turn to face the figure that appears before them.
It's a Jumanji rhino.
Yo!
Yeah, we're getting
What a
Jumanji.
twist.
What a
Okay.
twist, right?
Kevin
So
Hart.
then,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
You guys spare no expense.
let's hope this works.
Mesdames et messieurs, I am Miss Desclous, the famous French detective.
Let's get it.
I have been aboard this vessel several days.
You can't make your own
cleverly
Jumanji
disguised
drums.
as the assistant wine steward to investigate at Monsieur Archibald Frass' request
What?
the appearance of illegal and counterfeit bottles of grapes of Frass champagne. However, I must now inform you that I have just discovered on board this vessel a crime of an entirely different sort.
A crime?
At 5:15
Tax evasion.
today, I, Miss Desclous, discovered the body of Archibald Frass. And rudely, but
held for that, thank
ineffectually
you.
hidden in his own wine locker. Mais oui.
He was shoved in his locker.
Lord, Archibald Frass has been murdered, and I have determined that one of you gathered here is
What?
the culprit.
What?
My
dare
investigations
me?
are nearly concluded,
No.
and I expect to have the matter resolved by morning.
Okay.
Not a lot of time.
We got no. It's plenty. I mean, it's
All
5
items
o'clock.
to clear up.
So what I'm hearing is that my bad French accent will sound phenomenal next to this bad French accent. Yeah, no, not worried anymore.
I suggest that doing so will avoid inconvenience and possible
So it sounds
detainment
like we need to
of
pay off
innocent
this
parties.
detective.
Yeah.
I myself will meet with each of you in the morning.
In the what?
Bon appétit,
Morning.
mesdames et messieurs.
Okay.
Bonsoir.
Wow, I know what that means. It means good night.
Okay.
One of the reasons that we're responding like this is because we actually don't know who did it.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
the person who did it doesn't know who did it.
Okay. All right. So here's basically the rundown.
Okay,
of what
thank
this
God.
is.
Yeah. What
But
did
hey,
you
can
say?
you do it in a French accent?
Drops of blood. Drops of blood
broken.
and drops of Jupiter. Drops of blood and jeweled sheath found near jewelry safe. Victim's body found in locked wine closet nearby, concealed beneath hundreds of champagne corks.
It was corks.
Beneath. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, access to cabin and wine locker restricted by voice activated lock on cabin door keyed to victim's voice. By wine locker door bolted from the inside, an investigator had to break through both doors with assistance of ship's crew.
Wait, so the voice-activated lock and the deadbolt
We're still
were
locked.
still locked, and he was inside.
Correct.
Okay.
Apparent motive for crime: theft of approximately 650 liters of vintage champagne and priceless jeweled tiara known as the Couronne d'Étoiles, the crown of stars. Incredible. Gold button with anchor emblem found near victim's body.
Captain.
Everyone got one of those on the way in.
I don't think it
I don't
means
think
like a
it-
button like you would get at
No,
Disney.
it's
Like,
like,
There you
it's like, it's like
It's my birthday.
it's my birthday. I killed everybody.
small gold charm in shape of top hat found in victim's vest pocket.
Captain?
A thin
No, I don't
piece
play
of
Monopoly.
blue thread found near wine locker door. Open bottle of liqueur noyeux, N-O-Y-E-A-U, found in main cabin. Empty liquor glasses on deck nearby bearing scent of bitter almonds. The operation of the voice-actuated lock is a microphone located near the cabin door, transmits sound to a device that controls a stylus revolving on a revolving drum.
So cool.
A drum!
They spent so much time.
Jumanji. We're getting Jumanji right now.
I redacted. It is arsenic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
arsenic.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
The frequency of the speaking voice is recorded on the drum. Only when the device detects an exact correspondence between the voice at the door and the pre-recorded image of Monsieur Frath's own voice, may the door be open. I'm ready. I don't know about you guys. Murder makes me so hungry.
Let's call for our first course.
Yes.
Murder.
No need for a bill, I am already here.
The seafood course.
It is fresh caviar.
No.
Fresh caviar.
I love caviar.
I'm actually so happy that I get to crunch something right now.
Ooh la la.
Not to be suspicious.
Yeah, what'd you get?
You are acting
Yeah,
very
you're
casual.
acting
Should we-
I'm just gonna take. Don't worry about me. I'm just
Okay,
gonna.
shall we turn to our first page?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can open your first page now.
Okay,
Away.
round one. Let's begin.
So what we have on here, on our first page of our own books, everybody has a book that's about them, essentially, and what they know about others. So in this first section, you have facts concerning yourself and facts that you know about others. So you both have things like literally your description, your image, and the facts about you, but then you also have some secrets.
You're a time traveler. Oh, sorry.
Damn.
Ah, I have to remember everyone's name.
Oh la la.
Ooh la la.
I have overheard some things from.
Is this WC?
From WC and Bella. No, I am just a humble person on ship. I heard WC telling me this, while so he was doing some business.
Sure.
The plumber accent.
Every ship should have this in real life, by the way. So this is all the gossip I saw.
Nah, he's a businessman. What do you want from me?
Their position on the ship is the ship Yenta.
Thank you. You guys enjoying your dinner? Now here's some shit I heard.
Here's what I got.
WC is always drunk.
Yeah.
Listen. Behind the scene at Nadia's nightclub, she operates a very successful brothel.
Okay.
Patronized by many important men.
Nice.
One including WC.
Oh.
Yes. Also, on at least 2 prior occasions,
This plumber's great.
It's great.
WC saw Miles and Desiree together.
What?
Once in Paris and once in Monte Carlo.
Wow.
And then also Bella also saw Desiree and Miles standing together very close, in Monte Carlo.
Okay.
Just
What happens in Monte Carlo?
Just saying.
Alright,
That's my business.
Well done.
So we all now know that information?
Yeah. Speaking of information we do know.
That's interesting.
As captain of the ship, I feel it's important that I dilute some information to you all. There is a secret door from Desiree's cabin.
To where?
That's right, it's over there.
To Frat's. I was telling it to the room.
Oh,
I already know.
Yeah. There's a secret door from your closet into Frat's cabin, which
interesting. An adjoining room.
an adjoining room. But it's a bit of a wind-about passage, but it's the only one that connects there that you don't have to go past the voice-activated lock or have to pry open the door.
I didn't choose my room.
Sure.
I'm a guest here.
Did you always sleep in your room? Did you always sleep in your room? You seem to have something.
Listen, I travel in high society circles, so of course, if she was in Monte Carlo and I'm in Monte Carlo, we're gonna talk.
We're gonna hang out.
We're in society. What am I gonna do? Be a real jerk about it? I'm a French charming fellow.
Put in the lower third.
Young. And ooh, yeah.
I'm a young,
and
dashing
I'm
gentleman.
young. Yeah.
I'm a race car driver. What lives life on the edge?
Sure.
like a young Lightning McQueen.
Exactly.
And as we know,
Dashing.
dashing equals race car driver. It said it in your booklet.
exactly.
Thank you.
Ka-chow.
It's a fact.
Speaking of things we've heard, this golden top hat, this is interesting because I happen to know that golden top hat is the calling card of a gentleman jewel thief. And Frath, I once heard him say that he worried that this jewel thief had his eyes on the Frath collection. And that, quote, if the gentleman thief has designs on my collection, he'd better forget them. I'll bury anybody that comes near the Frath collection.
Man, I think we might have been in the same room, Miles.
Oh.
See? I hang out with people all the time. Yeah.
He's like, look, woman, I hang out with women.
Listen, I
Yeah.
prefer the company of women. I find their conversations more interesting.
There you go,
I
yeah.
have to
Don't
hang
we
out
all?
with dudes at the racetrack all the time.
You're getting sick of it.
Because
Yeah.
At the racetrack, everybody just goes around in circles. Conversations.
Understood. Understood. Yeah.
Yeah, I just know. Might have been the same room. Could have just been the same conversation, two different people.
Could have been.
I heard him say the so-called gentleman thief, or anybody else, takes a run at my collection, he won't find himself dealing with a gentleman.
Oh.
Y'all, I think we're all looking for the same guy.
Okay.
They could be any one of
Could
them.
be anybody.
Could be anybody.
So
Could be anybody.
Here's my question. Archibald invited us all here.
Yes.
Yes.
I work here.
Yeah.
And you were hired, which is kind of
Yeah,
like
you
an
were
invite.
hired. It's his shit. You were hired.
A paid invite.
Wait.
Jeff
I would've
Bezos
fired
over
you,
there.
yeah.
Why does he keep hanging out with a jewel thief?
That's such a good question.
Why do you
Well, because
invite?
if it's a gentleman jewel thief, there's probably an aspect of like also a society person, not me.
Not
Right,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
understood
Yeah.
for me.
As far as I know,
Yeah,
by the information I've been given so
Yeah.
far.
No. Understood.
If it's a jewel thief, if
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a jewel thief, it's a surprise to me.
I mean, I also know this jewel thief often occurs in a home where a recent major social event was held.
That makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Well, then
As
it's
one
called-
is to steal jewels.
Yeah, they're
right,
coming
yeah.
to steal jewels.
But he also does leave like the beer and stuff that he brought there left over.
Yeah. Because he didn't want it.
it's not
Yeah. You give, you get.
You know, y'all, one thing that I know about Raph
Yeah,
is
tell me.
Please
he's
tell me.
actually a frequent patron of Bella's. I've seen him in the audience at the opera.
Oh, it's like an
and,
actual patron.
Okay, yeah.
You said it kind of behind your hand.
Yeah,
You know, I've noticed that he likes the company of beautiful women around him.
Sure.
Interesting.
Who? Yeah.
Which is why we're here.
Of course.
You know.
I enjoy the
that's-
company
yeah.
of all women around me.
Do you know
An
what
army of them that protects me. I call them my Valkyries.
Thor?
I
That's
can
my
actually confirm, you know, we can put to rest all of these accusations that literally Miles will only talk to me about cars.
That's true.
Is that one of your facts that you have to tell?
To be fair, I only know about cars.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
look,
one thing.
Miles and I have met several times, and he seems thoroughly caught up and racing, and only wants to talk about
I only know the
cars
one
and
thing.
how they operate.
Cars and being protected by women.
no.
That's the two things.
That's
He has a
it.
special interest.
So
Yeah.
it's like in Barbie, they're just talking at you. He's talking
His
at
job's
you.
his
Yes.
car.
It's
My
his
job's his car.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all have been interrogating me too long. Me and Lucy have been romantically involved in the past.
Wow.
Why are we just? I
Nobody
feel like
asked.
nobody asked.
Yeah, I feel
I
like-
just want to get it on you. You guys were stumbling upon it. I saw you guys.
Yeah, we were
We
heading
really-
that
we
way.
really
Yeah,
got
we
there.
were not heading that way.
Closer.
What's interesting is it was before he did this accent, so I'm validated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I
y'all-
know. Thank you so much.
Now here's the
Yeah.
thing, y'all. Lucy once confided in me that she was deeply in debt, but afraid to contact her trustee. You know who I'm thinking the trustee is? It's none other than Wellington C. Waterloo.
No, we all knew that.
Yeah, we all knew
Oh,
that.
y'all knew
Yeah.
that?
But
we knew
here's
that.
what's
We knew that.
interesting about W.
But did you know this?
What?
Instead, she turned to Fraff,
Oh.
Mon Dieu.
who provided her with money, eventually coercing the Gucci dagger from her as a security for the loan.
So I didn't have it.
So he stabbed himself.
He
But
stabbed
he
himself.
has
stabbed
it
himself.
probably in his safe.
I don't know exactly what clues are, y'all. I'll be honest.
You don't understand
Yeah,
the idea
you
of
don't
clues?
understand the idea of clues.
I'm just gonna shift
Yeah.
back and forth between accents.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
I
you'll
also
find it.
needed to let everybody know that we were talking about gold, and speaking of gold, a gold button I saw
Jacques
Mal
Hughes.
wearing
Wow.
a gold button on his coat
Yeah.
when I stepped out for a breath of fresh air, because being an heiress is so
Aaron.
Harris, by being my Harris. And now I notice he's changed his coat since we've found the button.
Huh.
It's evening. Of course I'm
Go
wearing
get
my
your other
evening
coat.
coat.
No,
Oh, it's in
no,
the
I feel like
room.
it's
I
yours.
got my
Yeah,
I love that, but I got both
There's two
buttons on
sets of
this
stairs.
coat,
No,
alright?
we need to see the other coat. And
Line up the 22 crew members and we'll inspect everyone's coat. I assume you have like extras.
Next!
22 crew members. All check
every
it.
single
You're
one.
22 mustaches, real fast.
Fraff has seemed to take an interest in your career, maybe because you
hasn't?
talk to him about cars all the time, but he's never cared about cars until now. What, were you seducing him?
No, I'm just very charming. I can't
Okay,
turn this
all right,
off.
I'm just saying.
I'm
I'm
French,
just- okay,
I'm dashing,
right.
and everybody's charmed by me. It's not my fault.
And you say
flat out.
ka-chow from time to time.
I do say ka-chow.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
1925, so I own that.
That's true. You did it first. You did it first. Yeah,
That's
you're right.
mine. I also want to point out, speaking of your estate manager, WC has been described as a heavy speculator, which is weird because I thought he would be very conservative, but it seems he is not a conservative investor, but rather making some big moves. I know he's not here right now, so now I feel kind of like a jerk.
Yeah.
Bringing
Right,
this up 'cause
right.
he's not here, and I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
Yeah, I heard that guy kind of has a game.
But I've just heard, that he's kind of overextended himself.
With
perhaps.
my money?
Maybe.
Oh.
Does he have his own money?
He
Do you
doesn't
know?
have his own money, probably.
Well, listen, I have a lot of businessmen from Paris,
Oh, wow.
Paris, come in. One of them told me that WC might be in financial struggle.
I've heard that too.
You know what's really interesting though? On some, what's really interesting is on some previous voyages, I know for a fact, Desiree wasn't the only one to sleep in their cabin. It was frequented by Nadia. So Nadia
cabin?
might
Wait,
also.
sorry.
Wait, with who?
Desiree's
Who's?
cabin has the secret connection
Yeah.
to the admiral's room.
Yeah.
But Desiree might not have known that, but I can tell you someone else who had been there prior.
Uh-huh.
Nadia had used that room on a previous voyage.
So Nadia would know about it.
Yeah,
I did think that you were implying we
Lesbians,
were hooking
yeah.
up.
I'm so
Right.
excited.
I actually thought you were going to say there was another secret. There's a secret passage.
I was so
Everybody's
excited for
room
lesbians.
connects
Yeah,
to Fred.
yeah.
There's big
Yeah,
tubes
yeah.
outside like a gerbil.
Yeah.
Pull this
While
book.
Miles and I only ever talked about cars, Nadia.
Did you guys talk about cars
Wait.
too?
Well, it was the previous.
That's
yeah,
another
yeah,
one. That's
yeah,
where, so they're secret agents in that way.
Got
It doesn't
it.
make a ton of sense, but come back for Cars 3 because it really,
You mean planes?
Wait,
when
is
she
that
said
real?
I only talk about cars, I only talk about the movie Cars.
You're talking about Frath, right?
Yeah.
I've known him for years, guys. I've been on his yachts before, okay? Or just yacht, I guess. Yeah. Just putting that out
Cool, man.
there, okay?
Okay.
I've been on yachts
We're
before.
friends. Yeah.
They're slower than boats in many ways, or cars, slower than cars.
But
You know, but yachts are like the cars of the ocean when you think
So
about
true.
it.
Really think about
Yeah,
it.
like whales are like animal cars of the ocean.
Uh-huh.
Birds are like animal sky cars.
Yeah.
Huh. It's kind of like everything's cars when you think about it.
Everything is cars.
when you think about it. Well,
Well, detective, I think we solved this case.
Everything's cars.
actually, listen, I've actually been on the yacht for a few days before this.
Whoa.
I got in a little bit early.
Yeah,
Um,
just cleaning up or.
Yeah, for what reason?
Why wouldn't I want to be on a yacht?
Yeah.
I spend much time on yachts, don't you?
No, I'm
do spend
mostly
much
at
time on
bars
yachts.
and cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was
And looking
really
at the
specifically
stars.
at least.
Well,
It was
yeah,
really
they're
like
yeah.
something
near
I
the
thought we
cars.
get.
obviously.
Yeah, no, I get it. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
a good yacht. Yeah.
And something I didn't notice before Archibald's unfortunate, devastating.
So upsetting.
Devastating.
Heartbreaking.
Totally.
Heartbreaking.
Absolutely.
I can't believe it happened.
I mean, he was 106.
Listen, something really upset Frath
Okay.
a few days ago. He was handed a letter and he was so upset
He
about
can't
it.
read.
He didn't even.
I can't read.
Can't read it.
And he never realized it till that moment.
Yeah, he had received a letter that
Oh,
said,
boy.
"My dear Frath, this letter will describe in greater detail the circumstances of the previously related concerning a shipment of 100 cases of your finest champagne. As I explained, the shipment was obtained not in our customary manner through your firm, but from a merchant who was willing to part with his entire inventory at a price considerably below cost. While most of the cases were sent to our warehouse on Warehouse Lane, of course.
Warehouse Lane. Yeah.
Where
Of
else is
course.
it gonna be?
It was originally there weren't warehouses
No.
there,
No.
and it was just all parks. And then they said, you know what?
Some guy was
It's a
like,
good place to build a warehouse.
Yeah.
see this boy? It'll all be long to you
Someday.
one day.
6 cases accompanied me at home, not me, whoever sent this letter.
Yeah.
Right.
To Watersdown Mansion, where I supervised their placement in my champagne cellar. I directed my man to chill 3 bottles to be served with dinner. One of these bottles was consumed with great pleasure by myself and 2 dinner guests, Colonel Waverly Finger
Like you're waving a
wave a
finger.
finger.
It's
Yeah.
and his wife, Ladyfinger.
Okay.
It's a
Like the
cookie.
sandwich? Oh, yeah.
Those go well in tiramisu.
The remaining 2 bottles, when opened, proved to contain an inferior beverage, hardly to be called champagne.
Huh.
This vile liquid, scarcely suitable for consumption by human beings,
Oh.
was alcoholic in content, but without bouquet, color, or refinement. It was not poisonous, however, as I served it to the other members of my household staff by way of experiment.
Whoa.
Thanks, Waverly Finger.
Also, it was Everclear.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Everclear, yeah.
But also was really willing to poison the
Oh,
staff.
yeah.
of
He
his
said,
house.
I'm not going to try it, but they could try
He
it.
says they seem to have survived the experiment.
They seem.
What do you mean seem
They're
to?
so mad.
Yeah.
They got drunk.
As a precaution, I opened the remaining bottles and discovered that several, 9 in all, contain this highly offensive and inferior wine. I have, of course, withheld the distribution of the remaining cases in my warehouse. If you want my opinion, old man, someone is producing highly inferior and altogether counterfeit champagne under the Maison Frath label. You had best put a stop to it before confidence in your vineyards begin to erode. And this is from Roger Watersdown.
Interesting.
He was handed this on board and he seemed very upset
But
about
yeah,
it.
I would be upset as well.
The detective mentioned that she was there to investigate claims of counterfeit.
Right.
Wine.
We don't know who made the counterfeit wine,
Yeah.
but maybe it's related.
Sounds like it was
sounds like it could be related.
champagne.
Whoa!
Y'all feel like you're in a game sometimes? Like
Oh
ain't
no!
Like, this
No,
ain't
you're
reality.
getting
Like,
weird!
this ain't reality.
No, it's okay.
It's okay, we're fine.
Watch the top. Watch the top spin.
Doom, 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 doom. The drums are right.
Repeat Jumanji, right?
Get out of here, Phil Collins!
The only other thing I would say is that if this all seems to be very connected to the wine and champagne, that WC is very knowledgeable about why
I
that's
think we
true.
should pin it on WC. Is what I'm
Yeah.
hearing.
Yeah.
He's not even here.
Yeah.
God.
I think this is a great idea.
Sorry, just to say, I was social throughout the day, being seen by others.
Okay.
That was so mysterious.
That's, you know what?
Have you
I'm
seen
taking it
Bella?
back.
No, I haven't
Yeah,
seen
Bella's-
Bella.
Bella, do you know anything?
Yeah, I'm wondering what Bella has to say.
Bella,
We've been awfully
Tell us the
quiet.
stuff you were supposed to know.
And can you sing it in a color
Not the mustard.
Latora
Country
soprano?
accent?
I saw Mal coming out of Frath's room in the Frath's cabin at 11
Okay.
when I entered the boot. Yes.
Okay, but he didn't
all
die
right.
until like 4:50. or
Thank you,
something.
thank you.
However,
Miles,
he could have
absolutely.
been planting things, planning things.
Anyways,
That's true.
he was carrying a tool in his hand. It's Mal.
A tool.
A tool?
And it kind of looked like a pair of pliers.
Liars.
Oh,
Liars.
now the wires were cut on the champagne corks, and that's what
Oh,
part of what we were
wires.
I'm
thinking
thinking
was-
pliers like to ply the corks out or something, but that's not how that works.
No,
No, she said in
Wires
the
were
thing
just invented last
that
year.
the wires were cut.
Yeah.
Does everybody feel like
I'm so hungry.
I'm ready for the next
Yeah,
course.
let's get
Really, I am back. I'm just gonna, you know, on top of the caviar.
No, that's totally normal when a chef puts a plate on top of another plate.
Yeah.
It's fresh fruit today.
Oh my god, it's fugami.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
You know, now that I've been reminded that Bella is my sister.
Oh my god!
Reminded
The
us.
sentence says, now that you have been reminded that Bella is your sister.
Wait, that's actually in there?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I recall
Reminded.
that as a child, she entertained the family with her clever ability to imitate friends and relatives.
Oh.
She's
So
a
if-
soprano. She can imitate voices.
well, if somebody needed to do his voice to get into the room.
You know, another thing I've been reminded of,
Oh.
along with thinking about the fact that Bella is my sister, which, how did I slip my mind?
Of course.
I only think about cars. I also remember when I was on the bridge as we were sailing from Monte Carlo, and I also saw some wire cutters sticking out of Captain Mal's pocket.
Well, as captain of this ship, I think it's only logical that I carry tools around. All right? There's a lot of things that need
sure.
snipping. All right?
But you drive a boat. You don't do repairs.
The captain has many hats that he wears. All right?
It's
How
only
many
one.
hats?
It's a captain's hat.
More than 4?
maybe 5 on certain days.
Too many hats.
That's too many hats.
It's a lot of hats. I don't have enough delegating power.
You should spend more time piloting a boat than changing all those hats.
That's the answer.
When I drive my car in circles real fast, I'm not trying on different hats.
Well,
I have
speaking-
one hat.
Yeah, one hat.
Speaking of
That's
different
no
hats,
start.
I know for a fact that Nadia
Wears hats?
that Nadia wears hats. No, she has 2 hats. She owns and runs a nightclub,
Yes.
but her brothel that she
Yes.
runs on the side patrons many powerful men in Europe.
Now, would you say that maybe you know this because you were there while gambling? Because I know that you
No.
are a compulsive gambler.
I would not say that because I was there.
I happen to know
I
that
don't
you
have
have
an
lost
excuse
heavily
for
and are
that.
deeply in debt.
I don't think I'm in debt. I think that I have been.
It's not a subjective
No.
What, it's not that
No,
you
no,
feel
no,
like
no,
you're in
no,
debt.
no. Debt is a very final word. I'm more.
You're
in,
thinking of death.
No. Debt. I'm more.
That's the money one.
You can be rich and lie.
SWC, one of my visits to the Rouge brothel, I encountered Lucy on the arm of a Persian businessman.
Persian or Parisian?
Parisian, sorry, my bad. I can't read. I'm a businessman after all.
I get it.
Fair.
Very common the businessmen couldn't.
I can't
Yeah,
read.
yeah.
Yes.
It was a different time.
And I recognized the man as one of Frank's business associates.
Oh, interesting.
All I'm saying is, if you're maybe gonna possibly not truly be in debt, why not secure a sugar daddy?
That's fair.
All I'm saying is,
yeah.
if I don't have my own money, hypothetically, why not have men's money?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this all makes
Were you-
sense.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Y'all, I've heard that agents of a Russian regime are searching through Europe for the Tarzana jewels.
Okay.
Oh, that seems big.
That seems big,
unrelated.
because-
big.
But
But
here's
they
the
heard
thing.
a rumor
Oh,
that Nadia brought them with her to Paris and have threatened to kill Nadia unless they are returned.
Confirm or deny?
I
confirm or deny?
cannot confirm nor deny that.
Oh, sure you
But
can.
you know what's interesting?
Because-
also, Jules knows a lot about Jules.
Jules
here.
does know a lot about Jules.
It's more of a, like, yeah.
Yeah, either way, Miles is about cars.
I know
you're
about cars. I don't
about
steal
Jules.
It's
cars.
just like my name is, like, his name's Miles, like a car would travel miles.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah. And
How did my parents know
My
that?
name is Jules.
Or is this like when you name a kid Jeeves and you're like, I
No.
hope he grows up to
It's
be a
like when you
butler.
name a street warehouse.
You think like, was it W-H-E-R-E house? Like,
Warehouse.
Lost.
Warehouse. There's only park. Warehouse.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you accusing me of
It's
something.
okay, I'm about to accuse you of something. You don't say the accusation.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry. So Brad and I, we chatted up. We have a good time on the boat, and he
Well,
was
had a
mentioning-
good time.
Rest in
okay,
peace.
so
Yeah,
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
He noticed that apparently all the social gatherings that Jules had been at had also been the ones where things had been stolen from.
Oh,
That
that's,
makes sense.
that's crazy.
Did you ever have anything stolen from you?
No, absolutely not. Never happened to me at all.
Huh,
Okay.
Guys, we gotta find the guy who is stealing.
Now listen, I think we can all agree he's a jewel thief.
Yeah,
That doesn't
yeah.
make him a murderer.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No. Although,
Just a thief.
But to get what he wants.
to get what he wants.
But when considering who might be a murderer,
Right.
how well do you know your sister you just remembered you had?
Well, I drive around in circles a lot and I get very dizzy.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's why you
I
can't
inhale
remember her.
a lot of gasoline fumes. It's 1925.
yeah.
Dude, you have like one really thick muscle on this side, right? Like the neck and your leg muscles thick
Yeah,
on one
that's true.
side.
I lean a lot.
Yeah.
I got huge sunburn on this arm.
That's your other race car driving
Yeah.
sister, Ali.
Yeah. Listen, I may not know about anything other than the Cars and the Cars movie franchise.
Yes.
But also just me thinking, why would Jules leave a bejeweled dagger at the scene and the jeweled case?
Thank you. I would steal it so fast.
Yeah.
All right.
If I was one to steal.
Yeah.
So, based on this, I don't know if Jules could get in the room because it was locked by voice, right? So somebody, that's one of the biggest pieces is you had to be able to emulate the voice. And I actually saw Bella in an off-Broadway show
My
before
sister?
before she got very successful. I kind of saw her in a show, in a minor production. I saw her
Little
portray the role of a man, General Cotiu. I don't think I'm reading that correctly. A soldier who was castrated in battle.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah,
Who was what?
You fell off at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
they
were you
raised
saying? What were
upward
you
and
saying?
backward.
Yeah.
I didn't read it in my head before I read it out
You
loud.
got a boo-boo in battle.
Yeah.
You got a boo-boo in
He got
battle.
boo-boo. Where was that boo-boo?
What do you find in battle?
Like a downstairs boo-boo?
What was the past tense verb that you used?
Yeah.
Earlier today.
He was cast away in battle?
Yeah, cast it away.
Castrated?
Oh,
Yes.
to be a soprano,
In
right?
the American light opera work,
Yeah.
the called
The American, what was it?
Desiree, are you okay? Desiree.
The electronic light
Price's
orchestra?
favorite game.
This is Vincent Price.
This is Vincent Price's favorite game.
I love when people are castrated.
the thing is, it was called the unkindest cut of all.
Oh! Got rave reviews. Rave reviews.
Vincent Price was rolling on the floor when they came out.
This role is extremely difficult as it requires the performer to sing baritone in the first act and soprano
After he loses his balls.
We knew it.
He didn't lose them. He knows right where they are.
knows where they are.
He's actually got a jar of them.
Well, where was the last place you had them?
You know,
So-
interesting though. Bella, when they first got to the
My
ship,
sister?
your sister, in
sister,
case
yes.
you didn't know,
Keep slipping my mind.
I saw they had a lot of interest in that voice-activated door. Spent a
What's
lot
weird?
of time in front of that door doing some weird stuff.
It's a weird door.
Yeah,
Who does
yeah,
that?
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
1925.
it's actually pretty advanced.
Yeah. I'm surprised you all aren't more interested in it, frankly.
Yeah.
You spend enough time around something like that, it's just a part of every day. You know?
Yeah. I feel like we're kind of bearing the lead here. Desiree, we were having a little chat earlier.
Oh.
You know?
About cars?
About
No, you would have been there for those
Nah,
cars.
little
I'm
bit
not
about-
summoned.
Yeah, you're not
I'm
summoned.
a
That's true.
G-
No,
when
you
we talk
are.
about
You are.
cars,
We're
I'm
talking
not
about cars.
a
You're
G.
there.
3 times.
You're there. It was about Frath, and I know that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it was a very interesting conversation that we had. If we're talking about
The
getting
same
to know
Frath or a
Frath.
different
No,
Frath?
this
Same
Frath. This
Frath.
Frath.
Oh,
This
okay.
Frath.
Okay.
Yeah,
We all
champagne
know
Frath.
many Fraths.
Champagne Frath.
Yes, we had a private conversation
Very
about
private.
What about?
Yeah. I'm just putting that out there,
What'd you
just in
guys
case
talk
anybody
about?
wants to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you guys talking about grapes?
I
Well,
think
a few
they,
things came up in the conversation.
Just a
One
couple.
being you being indebted to him.
And another one being that he came coming on to you and you were frustrated about it.
Whoa.
And you called him, and I quote, a lecher.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
his skin was falling off?
And you were speaking.
leper.
That's
Oh,
leper.
sorry.
That's
Yeah,
leper.
sorry, I got that.
That's leper.
He also
You
had
spoke
leprosy.
Not just resentfully, but you were nervous.
Were you nervous?
You seemed nervous.
Well,
And
And
you were writing a letter to me, but it was unfinished.
to you,
To me?
I was writing a letter to my sister that disappeared from my room.
No.
Did you take my letter because you were in my room, and then when you left, my letter was
We
gone?
should go. This
Oh
seems
my
Really,
God.
really,
I am WC and I found this letter dropped.
I did lose that letter. I did lose
saw
that letter.
Lucy drop a letter and she was entering her cabin. I picked it up and I kept it.
Well, that's rude.
Can we
well,
see it?
Should we let?
But I
someone
just want everybody
read
to
it?
know that the reason I took the letter is because in your handwriting it had my name on it.
I was in the process of writing a letter to my sister, Gabrielle.
Well, then why did it have my name on it in your handwriting?
I don't know.
it's getting so tense, y'all.
Ooh.
It's getting so freaking tense.
Enlighten us on what the letter
Yes,
And
so
yeah.
basically, this is saying, I mean, it's in your handwriting, but I believe that it's saying, Dearest Gabrielle, and then basically saying that you have discovered that F might have been behind the plague that blighted your vineyard.
Wow.
Because a similar disaster struck another competitor of his several years ago with similar consequences.
Oh wow.
And I wonder what F stands for.
And could that be a reason for someone to maybe
Frank?
I think it's Frath.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
was,
okay.
I was alluding to Frath.
All right.
counterfeiting their work. Maybe if they destroyed their vineyards, maybe try to undermine the Frath wines now.
Interesting.
Hmm.
And kill him as revenge.
This
That
is
seems
interesting.
like really a lot to
Oh,
do. Like you
sorry.
wouldn't have to do all of those things. Like if you're gonna destroy his
reaching.
name, you also have to kill him. Like I feel like if you're gonna kill him, that would be enough.
But it was discovered.
This letter will also report that many women have suffered the debasing fate that I fear from F. I have not succumbed, you may be assured, but others have, beginning years ago with a poor Italian opera singer. Even now, he seeks a new conquest and virtually has the Gucci heiress on a string, poor thing. Needless to say, I will die or commit murder before I allow that beast of a man to have his way with me. Finally, I have concocted a plan to restore our family's fortune. Of this, I will not say more, for it is too desperate to set to paper, but have hope and say a prayer for me. We depart on a week's cruise, and then it ends.
Wow.
Interesting.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I do wish I hadn't written that now.
Yeah. I could have stopped reading and I thought about it because I was like, this seems very personal.
No, this seems,
And
And
he was a
I just dropped
106-year-old
it. That's my
pervert.
bad.
And I think everyone knew it. I think he was an old pervert.
No, I mean,
Honestly, I also knew it.
Yeah.
He's
Thank
the
you.
manipulative old
Yeah,
pervert.
we all
The
knew
room,
it.
you know,
Yeah.
the old
Yeah.
pervert.
it's
Yeah.
something that we all just need to admit. No one's sad he's dead.
No one's really
No
sad.
one's really sad he's
really
dead,
sad.
right?
Right.
I mean, we haven't asked WC or Bella.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there was mention of an opera singer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Okay, but that says years ago.
Wait, was
and
your
my
sister-
sister is not that old.
If I could just
you
say
know that?
something, several months
I
ago.
don't know much about my sister. but
Several months ago, I saw Desiree and Bella together in a cafe in Monte Carlo.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah?
I've seen many
You've
They
seen
were-
so many
Yeah,
people
we're
in
all
Monte
in
Carlo.
Monte Carlo
But
all
they
the
were
time.
looking through a packet of documents and talking in hushed tone.
Not hushed tone.
All right.
Also, side note, I did burglarize WC's home.
Okay.
Just so y'all know.
All right.
That's my bad.
That's what you're openly admitting.
Okay.
I totally did. I came
Well,
away.
this is a safe
This is a
zone.
safe space.
Yeah.
I came away with little, but I did get a glance at a policy of life insurance for $1 million on
Damn.
Draft's life insurance
Oh.
payable to WC.
Who now I've learned has messed with my money, which is why I'm in debt, not me. It's him.
No, you also
No,
gambled.
no, I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
So it's
No, I
kind of
didn't.
good that I burgled him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
Robin Hood guy.
You're a
Yeah.
hero.
You're a stand-up guy. Yeah.
Take them away.
You drop these.
Nadia, you look like you were giving.
Yeah. Nadia, what's up?
There's
What's
a
up?
lot. I need everyone to pay attention.
We're here for you, Nadia. We're here for you.
First of all, I'm gonna start off with this.
Yeah.
My nightclub, so many people talk there, right?
Cool.
In
man.
your brothel?
I'm
Yeah.
glad it's not
No,
silent.
the nightclub
Yeah.
part. The nightclub
Oh,
part.
the nightclub part.
Hush
Yeah.
tones. It's like a library.
Yeah. I heard that Fraff's wine vineyard was challenged by the Flambeau vineyard of the Desiree Flambeau.
Oh.
But it was cut short because there was a blight to the Flambeau
Yeah, that's-
vineyard,
yeah.
right?
That's my great odds.
Yeah.
Right, but
The
however,
great odds I'm up
Yeah.
against.
Tremendous.
A play.
Yeah.
tremendous odds.
If they were just great, that's down here.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
odds.
Really hard.
Not epic though.
No.
Yeah.
Some of us have epic odds.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like one time, I won a car race on a bicycle.
Wow, those are epic
Oh,
odds.
that's pretty epic.
Yeah.
No, the bicycle was on top of a car. Just so y'all are
But it was
clear.
still bike powered. You
Yeah.
had to bike power the car.
I've been picturing you as a car.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
But in my dreams.
Where you go vroom vroom.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow. Vroom vroom. I actually was once surprised. I saw Miles and Desiree in my nightclub talking.
Yeah, man.
You talk to so many
Yeah.
but
But
I have theories about Tomato and like the
I thought you were gonna say you have theories about the fact that there is a car pope, which implies that there is car Christianity.
I'll tell you what's
Oh.
weirder.
Yeah.
There's
Catholicism.
cars bugs in the first one where
There-
you see the little
there
ladybug
are.
beetles.
there
right.
are.
And so it implies beyond just the
100%.
cars that there's
Oh
other
yeah, because like
species.
the bull was a tractor. I don't have time
There's
for
This
that.
is a, it's a podcast about cars.
Guys, I robbed WC so good.
Yeah, man, no, we're over that.
That was
Like
like
all his stuff.
that was like 15
Over
bits
that.
I
ago.
stole all his
So
photos.
anyways, you saw us talking.
I saw
and-
you guys talking. I saw Desiree bring a packet of documents.
Why are you bringing
to
documents
you.
everywhere?
Miles, okay?
Oh, me.
Oh.
And I'm gonna read them in an order
was-
I want to read
It was,
them in.
it was just the owner's manual.
This was February 1st, 1925, from Sharon Pointet. I have now determined to my satisfaction the names and identities of my children. as set forth in the telegram previously wired to you. This letter will instruct you to immediately prepare changes to my will, leaving 1/2 of my estate to each of them.
Oh.
You are further instructed to maintain the strictness and confidences with regard to this matter. Truly, Frath. As a reminder to everyone here and at the audience of home, this was made in 1985.
Oh, buddy.
Date, September 11.
Never forget.
Everything
Never
changed
forget.
today.
Yeah.
My love, I have just time to write before Siegfried returns. He watches me constantly and is so jealous. You must not try to see me again. I will love you forever, you and our child to be, with my whole heart, Sylvia.
Sylvia.
Laugh.
Oh, wow.
Cher and Frath. I just realized Cher means dear. Okay, anyway.
Oh, thank you.
Pursuant to your instructions, I have undertaken inquiries both in France and in Italy concerning the identity and location of a child or children born in approximately March of the year 1901 to one Sylvia Riligota, singer.
An Italian singer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Older than your sister.
I can report that I've
Yeah.
located records of birth of twin children, a boy and girl born March 3rd, 1901 in the village of Givagusa, Italy. The father is reported to
That's
be
where I'm from.
Siegfried, a Dutch composer, and the mother Sylvia. The children were given the names Miles and Belladonna.
I have a sister!
You have a twin.
You have a
Your father
twin.
is Frath.
Your father is this bitch! I
What?
didn't mean to say that.
My father's
father.
dead?
Uh-huh.
The father disappeared shortly after the children were born and is presumed to have
Ghost?
died. Sylvia remarried Luigi Casa, and
Whose brother was
musician,
Mario.
Yeah.
and her daughter took the name Belladonna. The Cosa family was very poor when Miles was 7, and he was sent to live with relatives in France, Michel and Pierre Latout.
Lateau.
I trust this information will be useful to you. My statement of expenses is appended along with copies of records of birth. Your humble servant, Giles.
This is
Wow.
all news to me.
Giles, probably.
Giles.
So this means that we have to find the will, because if you were cut
No,
out.
Miles, not Will.
Why don't you talk about cars?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
They have 4 wheels.
They're four
I
wheels.
hope
They go
invent
vroom vroom.
windshield soon.
Anyway,
There's the bugs in the dirt.
your father's Frath.
What?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Was.
That's crazy. What?
The documents in which I had been carrying around to
Uh-huh.
bring to Bella and Miles did regard Frath's attorney preparing a will to make them his heirs.
You should have told me about that.
Yeah, you weren't listening.
Ah.
You kept talking about cars. Bella
Cars are
got it.
really loud. you
Yeah.
said.
They go vroom vroom.
Yeah, but
They
Bella
do.
understood.
Good job.
So if the will means that they would get money when he's dead, and they grew up poor,
So we weren't used to money.
But also, Nadia knew about the connection between Desiree's room and the cabin, so they could get behind the automated lock.
So yes, somebody, because the deadbolt was also done.
Right.
he's
Right.
dead.
Needed
You're
to
right.
get through into his room.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you needed to get through the deadbolt and the voice lock.
Right.
right?
Which means
Yep.
somebody might have
A
used
ghost.
The
a ghost.
Yeah.
A ghost.
The
A
walls.
Ghost.
They walk through the walls.
Of
Duh.
course.
But you
They're
know
the
who
only-
else knew about the secret tunnel?
Hmm.
The captain of the ship.
No, I don't know about
Captain of the ship
that.
definitely
I don't know
knows
about
about
You
the
that.
told them about
You
it.
told him about the secret
yeah.
You were
tunnel.
the one who brought it up.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure,
and
sure,
you
I
had
brought
wire
it up.
clippers.
It's secret. It wouldn't be on the blueprint.
It's on-
I know,
Right,
isn't
right,
it
it's not
sad
on
that's
the
not
secret.
on there?
It's a secret.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
it sad?
Don't we have
little
2
bit.
more courses?
Yeah.
We do.
Oh, we
yeah.
do.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Going
I
on.
stole
Everybody-
so much from this room right here. I don't know whose room that is.
I think it's the water closet.
Okay.
Water
All right. Does
Anyone
everybody
have?
ready for
Yes.
the next course?
Let's
Yeah.
do the
Yeah.
next
We're
one.
so.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ka-chow, ka-chow, ka-chow.
Next course, please.
Jesus Christ.
I got some freedom O's.
Free I love free
Thank you.
O's. O's that have been freed.
Beck said, hey, I got some freedom O's.
Hey.
Hey!
But also,
I'm gonna
I
stuck
am
such a
Bella
stomach
now.
ache.
Oh,
Oh, ah.
Hey, Bella, what's going on?
Alright, woo, ah. Anyway.
The ghost.
The ghost.
My sister?
Hello?
What up?
Hey, what's going on? So I heard you guys
We're not
talking
close.
about my amazing opera singing.
Yeah, dude.
And yeah, sure, okay, I may have wanted to get into Frath's cabin. When I was going into the main corridor, about to enter Frath's cabin, I saw Mel come down the companionway. He quickly turned and left.
Ah,
A little bit upset.
he's afraid of Bella.
Sucks.
I'm not sure, but it kind of looked like he was trying to enter Desiree's cabin.
Which is where he knows the secret tunnel is.
I feel like this game's calling me a slut.
A little bit. A little bit.
I did go into Frath's room, okay? Looking.
Hey, sis, can I talk to you for a second? As your lawyer.
Not yet.
Okay.
Hold on, listen.
I'm not with her.
Looking about the sitting room in Frath's cabin that I once entered, I noticed Frath's jewelry safe. It was locked.
Sick.
A breeze blew gently through the cabin and several portholes were open. I snooped around a bit in the sitting room.
Sis,
Listen!
maybe ease into it.
Hey, tranquilo.
I found a rough draft entitled Memoirs. It proved to be Frath's diary, written by him. And I took one of the pages.
I'll read a page.
There it is, Mica.
I'm reading a page.
Thank
I
you.
mean, she's my sister, apparently.
I stole WC's diary once.
Was it interesting?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I
Makes
changed
sense, makes
all of his kids' names to my name. Anyways,
Wait, hold on.
he talks about his kids a lot in his diary.
In summary, he gave Sylvia a child or two that he hardly knows or cares about. So
Doesn't
Man, I
care.
just found out I have a
about
dad,
that.
and
Yeah,
also he doesn't
really
care
does
about
not
me.
care
Also
about
that
you.
he's dead.
So what's the likelihood of you getting the will also if he doesn't care about you, right?
Apparently something must have changed.
Mm.
However, he did go on his travels and he made it a point to find a lovely woman. So he went to St. Petersburg, Russia, and in fact met a pretty young dancer who I took to be Russian.
Huh.
But she was
One
not.
second.
It turned out she was American. Her name, as I recall, was Ruby Rhinestone, or some such vulgarity.
That's too vulgar.
It was a stage name for sure, but she traveled with a troupe of chorus girls. And he traveled incognito himself by the name of John Smith.
That is the most incognito.
Super incognito. After Ruby, he kept tried to find his true love, so he might return to his life of wine and have a noble woman sitting beside him. So he didn't give a crap about you, but he found a woman named, what was it, Ruby Diamonds?
Ruby Rhinestone.
Ruby Rhinestone. But he thought he was getting a Parisian or a Russian woman, but she was American. I
It
don't know
sounds
how
like
you
it would
make
be
that.
your sister.
Yeah. Do you know something?
I do know one thing.
Is this a WC
I was
fact or is this a Bella
No,
fact?
this is a Bella fact. Thank
Okay.
you. Sorry, I
Oh,
missed
okay.
one. I also read another page that stuck into my brain that I did not steal, saying that Lucy came to me with a deadly goosey dagger. As she reluctantly surrendered, or she was reluctant to surrender it, and when I insisted, she became enraged and attempted to stab me with it. Succeeding in cutting deeply into my shoulder, I had
Bella,
Wait.
you
No,
gotta
but that's
tell me.
You
important.
literally got
Yeah.
stabbed?
You gotta tell us. How did you forget that?
No,
Oh
that
my
was
God.
that was in the page.
this was in the page. This
So
Oh.
that's why there was.
Bygones.
I didn't
be
get stabbed.
bygones.
I didn't get
He
stabbed.
wrote about it. You gotta
Yeah. That's why there were
Lucy
drops
tried
of
to
blood.
stab Frath.
For the
That's-
record.
That's why there were drops of blood on the sheet.
Exactly.
Also-
But it wasn't really the murder
But
weapon,
here's
it
the
was just a
thing.
shallow one.
Exactly. So here's the thing. Wasn't the murder weapon. Also, can you blame me? He was trying to make a relationship with me against my will and also blackmail me
And steal you of your estate.
and steal my estate.
Hey,
But here's
no,
the thing.
like honestly, super fair.
Yeah.
No, no, we're all glad he's
No,
dead.
yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
glad
But
he's
here's the
dead.
thing.
We
Here's the
can
thing.
all agree he was very stabbable.
Very
Yeah.
stabbable.
Yeah.
I'm glad my dad's dead.
And if I had the time then, I would have followed up on the job.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
why would I do?
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and he invited me, so
Yeah.
clearly we're cool.
But I
Yeah.
do feel like this is important.
Okay.
So most of the afternoon, I spent hanging out on the sun deck with Desiree.
Yeah.
And at about 3:45, Nadia announced that she was going to go for a row in one of the ship's dinghies.
Oh,
Like you do.
like you
Yeah.
I offered to help her because she was carrying heavy fishing tackle.
Okay.
But she declined and said she could manage it herself.
That's interesting.
You know what
Very
I
sus.
think is
That's
really
very sus.
interesting also about Nadia going on a fishing boat and
Do
you
tell.
keeping track of it is that when Miles was first on the Gilded Vessel, wasn't so interested in cars. Interested in
Wow.
something
That's
else.
super
Huh.
interesting.
I saw him
Wow.
talking with the chief engineer. And he questioned the engineer later when I asked him, I was like,
Oh.
hey, what are you, Miles, talking about? You said you wanted to know how the location and operation of the refrigeration plant for the wine locker. This, as you know, is situated on the upper deck and provides a flow of cold air through the hoses that run to the wine locker.
So I've been working on this idea because cars get really hot.
Oh,
yeah. We had a way of generating cold air inside of a car.
I see.
That makes a lot of sense because
you can change the conditions of
what I know about Miles seems to have come a long way in a very short time, starting as a refrigeration mechanic for the Laval
refrigerators are like the cars in the kitchen.
Paris. Emerging then as a mechanic for Bugatti racing team and ultimately as a private entrant and winner at Monte Carlo.
Well, Bugatti didn't start as a car company. It started as a refrigeration company and then branched into cars. So when they decided we want to get into the racing game,
you were ready.
Let's get our best refrigerator
let's get our best
because
refrigerator.
at that point I was delivering the refrigerator.
Right.
you're
Nothing
doing
to
really
do
quick.
with them. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
You're like,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. Because you've accused, I'm going to accuse back. Especially because our affair was really messy and I didn't like it, so I'm going to accuse you.
You all used to date.
Yeah. We had an affair.
Right.
It was before the accent. Remember, everybody?
So you're my wife?
Yeah.
No.
We all cared about
Absolutely
each other.
not.
Okay.
No.
And did you guys love each other?
Yes.
Maybe, because apparently, after an evening with Jules on this boat, so maybe it wasn't over. That's on me. My bad. On the floor beneath the chair where he had been sitting.
Why are you looking on my chair?
Nope.
Would you be looking on my
I
chair?
was looking under your chair.
Straight up
Listen,
pissed, dude.
listen. You left the room. You left the chair. I looked under it. That's on you.
Wait, do you do that? Yeah.
You
No,
looking at
not
my
like
chair?
under it. Like I looked down and there's like a space under the chair, like probably like a normal four-legged chair, not like a
Not like a
recliner.
5 or 6
No.
legged
Those are
chair.
silly.
5 or 6? I would never have a 5 or 6 in my room.
He would never have a 5 or 6 in his room.
Yeah.
But there was a small
sitting
gold
room?
charm under the chair in the shape of a top hat. I'm not sure that he dropped it, but how else would it get there? I'm not accusing him because apparently the sex is really good, so I'm not accusing him.
We know,
but
you're
you know
the
it might be
gentleman
there.
thief,
No,
right?
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Y'all,
I wouldn't assume anything in his room is his. Who'd you steal it from?
I didn't steal nothing from nobody.
He is a
Except
stealer.
for everything from
He is a
WC.
stealer.
Yeah.
Guys, I didn't steal nothing from no one, but I do have to tell y'all, while I was burglarizing Nadia's apartment,
Unrelated.
Totally unrelated.
hold on, y'all. Is burglarizing the same thing as stealing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I steal a lot.
Burglary is actually more violent.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
listen, we can't both be stupid.
So I found
spat
no
out.
trace of the Tarzina jewels, but
Tarzana? You mean the Tarzana?
the
Just
Tarzina.
Tarzana.
Who
Oh,
was
yes,
burglarizing? Was it y'all or was it me?
Sorry.
It
Yes.
was you.
Yes.
It was you.
The Serena. The Serena.
dead.
I didn't
Yeah,
find
yeah.
none of them jewels.
Okay.
But I did find her passport, y'all. And she's not Russian.
Woo!
She's American.
Woo!
Red-blooded American.
But she has a flawless Russian accent.
It's impossible.
Her occupation is a dancer, and her name is a little weird.
Is it Ruby Rhinestone?
How'd you know
I
that?
read it. So
Her
you
name's Ruby
slept with
Rhinestone.
Frath many times, apparently.
Y'all are gross.
Very.
Super gross.
Super gross.
Yeah.
I knew that there was only a secret door from Desiree's cabin into Frath's dressing room
Right.
because on an earlier voyage, I was given the cabin because that's where he gives the women that he wants to pursue. At the moment,
Anyone
those
could
cabins.
have given me a heads
Okay.
up.
Yeah,
And
I'm
you
so
could've-
sorry about that. Yeah, so sorry.
I'm kind of
Okay,
a piece
but-
of shit
yeah,
the
that's
more this
my
story
bad.
goes
Yeah.
on.
I will
Yeah.
also say, I'm going to alibi Desiree here a little bit. Because we were on the sun deck together while Frath was gone and all this went down.
Which is
and
true.
everybody, like, drifted away. At one point, we
Yeah,
were all there.
including specifically, Miles and I were on the sun deck through the afternoon, but Jules had been on the deck most of the afternoon with us lying in the sun. But while we weren't watching the entire time, we did notice that he was gone. We looked away for a moment, and around 4:35, he was gone from the deck. In fact, everyone but us had disappeared from the deck.
I can tell you where I was around that time. Because I'll be real, I was trying to get into the captain's cabin. I was trying to get in there. You don't need to know why. You
I
don't
do
need to
need
know
to
why.
know
Okay,
why.
yeah.
It was,
You need to
but
know
here's
why.
the, I
No, we
couldn't.
don't gotta
No,
know.
no,
I couldn't go in. I couldn't go in because Lucy was heading into the cabin at 4:40. I saw them making their way into Desiree's room, which we know has a secret passage to the cabin.
No,
Oh my god.
I wasn't even in my room.
No,
so
no,
you
no.
were going
Okay,
to
but
my
here's
room?
the thing. Yeah, you weren't in your room when I came to find you.
Right, I was up on the deck with Miles. And actually, I can provide an alibi for Nadia. I can verify, like you said, that
Yeah.
she was going out on a fishing trip because at about 4:40, I noticed a heavy fish hook attached to a heavy fishing line soar through the air off the stern of the ship and then disappear. So somebody was actually on that little boat fishing at 4:40.
But the hook went off the sign?
Just soared through the air. I could see it off the stern of the ship and then it disappeared.
Okay.
However,
Okay.
I am going
The
to
stern
implicate
of the
somebody
ship.
The
here.
stern, you mean where the bedroom is and the portholes were
Oh.
open?
Interesting.
And the porthole was open.
What were you fishing for, Ruby?
I don't know, guys.
But
All I know is that one time. Wait, listen.
at Bandit,
We brother. We gotta be kinder. We gotta be kinder.
I don't know. I'm learning as you guys are learning.
No, sweet.
I just remembered I have a sister. I mean, we're all right.
This guy sucks. This guy sucks. It's fine.
Okay,
we're not
listen.
sad he's dead.
At
Okay.
this one, I think we'd celebrate.
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
apparently
How
rich.
did you do it? Yeah.
Because you guys are shitting on me, I'm gonna shit on Mal. Okay,
What?
guys?
No! What?
Did you guys know one time early in the war, Mal was super fucking drunk, okay?
You got drunk one time?
And
Only
you know,
one time.
And you know what he did? The warship, he put it aground in the Mediterranean Sea. They were fucking stuck there, guys.
Whoa.
Okay, it was a short 3 years. It was a short 3 years that we grounded the ship.
Yeah.
Okay, it was at a
You
20.
got so drunk you grounded a ship for 3
No.
years?
The ship got grounded, and then we were stuck for 3
Got in
years,
trouble.
Right,
and
right,
all we
right.
had
Yeah.
was wine
Yes,
around. So
okay.
I became a drunk after that.
Okay,
I
sure.
Yeah.
And one more thing.
Wait, no.
Okay.
And one more thing.
Then another thing
another
after
thing.
that.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the
Wait.
way.
While we are all implicating
Yeah.
WC,
Oh, WC.
when he came on board at about 10 a.m. today, he gave a gift to Frath. It was a bottle of the Noye and WC said at the time, I heard him quote, "Handle it carefully, my friend. It must not be shaken."
Now, this is
Just
also
because there's, arsenic in there.
this is also interesting because I heard them arguing. Frath looked very angry. WC, of course, looked flush.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
God damn it.
And I heard Frath say, quote, "You've nearly bankrupted the Gucci estate, and I don't want you doing the same to mine."
Oh.
Frath is bad with money and also raising his kids.
Right.
Can I just say
Just
one
putting
thing?
it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me say many things.
Just one thing.
Just one thing. What's up?
I was young. I was 18. Yes, I am American. I was going to.
Where'd your accent go?
All right.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Wait,
When you
listen.
say it like that.
Listen, I was touring in Russia.
Yeah.
I fell in love with a man named John Smith.
Oh.
Okay?
Yes, he said
You
his
were
name was
in
John
love.
Smith.
And guess what? He
Yeah.
abandoned me, but then we reconnected because I found him again.
On the trip from Monte Carlo to Anchorage, where the ship now lies, I overheard an argument between Frath and Mal.
Oh, buddy.
Mm.
Frath used the phrases drunkard, incompetent,
Okay.
and then said something about cheap counterfeit wine.
Oh, well, we know that he was upset about getting cheap
He was
counterfeit
upset,
wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he went into his room
Mal
so much.
was abashed and slunk away.
Ooh, slunk.
It's hard when you're caught with your failures, you know?
And do you ever lash out and try and
He's your
kill the
boss.
man
No.
who accused you of being a failure?
No, because I live on a ship, and why would I ever jeopardize
Now,
that?
wait a moment.
Oh,
It also occurs to me that in the letter you were writing, you said that there was another vintner that was ruined before Flambeau. And that's what made you
before.
suspect
right.
that.
Yes, I know that.
I wish I came from such means as to have a vineyard. No, I do what I do best, and I'm not a thief, but I'm more an imitation artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exit through the gift shop.
Right. Absolutely. And so, some wine isn't always the best in the batch, you know, and sometimes you always don't get that bottle, and so you roll the dice that most of them will be good, and maybe only a few would be bad.
So why the wire cutters?
To find out which one was the right bottle, and so I needed to like cut the wire cutters to open them to get in and like actually get the corks out.
So you were in the wine cellar.
No, but like way
So you
earlier.
made the imitation wine?
Some would say it's better. Some
I don't
would
think it is.
better.
But no, here's the thing. You said you were cutting the corks, which he was found covered in, and the only way to find him covered in the corks is to be in the wine cellar.
Not to be hyper pedantic around it. I
if you
didn't cut
did
the
it-
corks. I cut the wires around the corks. And we are on a ship and it moves from side to side, so maybe something occurred that caused them to launch.
No, but you are dancing around the fact that you were in the wine cellar.
How did you get into the
How'd you
wine
get
cellar?
in?
Yeah,
Oh.
you just admitted you were in the wine cellar.
Because also they said that like an insane amount of it had been drank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are.
Some would say
drunker.
it was a reasonable amount of wine.
No,
Some
they
would
said
say it
it
was like a
insane.
reasonable,
Some-
like
they
a
said
normal
insane. They
amount.
They said it was
insane.
like whoa, like
Yeah.
who could possibly do
insane.
that?
Yeah.
You would have to be like a really weird dude.
I don't know, maybe a really functional guy who's trying to like
No.
pilot
But
a
also,
boat.
if
No.
the wires were cut, they were holding the corks in place and pressure built up. Then it
Well, they
could have
said that
spooled
some of
out.
it was spilled on the ground, but not
Most of it,
enough of it.
yeah.
They're like a lot. Like
yeah.
that somebody had drank a lot of
A
that
lot
wine.
of it, yeah, a lot of the wine. And also, you could have been hiding your evidence of bad wine. It could be revenge. There's so much happening, and we feel like we keep glossing
Yeah.
over the fact that he was in the wine cellar.
There's a lot.
There's a
But I
lot
was
happening
there
there.
before this thing happened. That's way
No,
too
because he
early.
was covered in them.
Yeah, but I did
What
my
time
job
were
and I
you
got
there?
out.
So you saw the dead
So
body,
you opened.
No, he wasn't there.
but he was covered in corks.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Before the
I
ship
can
set
explain.
sail for Monte Carlo, before
Yes.
I know this.
Okay.
I was able to enter the wine locker unobserved and snip the restraining wire from every bottle of champagne in the locker. I expected the motion of the ship during the crossing to cause the bottles to explode, destroying, and regrettably, the good with the bad. If the entire batch is gone,
okay.
you can't find out which ones are the counterfeits because they're already mixed in with the other ones. And it's all just spilled on the ground. And so this was before I left for Monte Carlo, and I wanted to go back to double check that it was the right ones that they had broken up, but I never got a chance because I kept seeing people trying to get in and out. People were always in
Makes a
front of
lot
the
of
door.
sense.
Yeah.
Because
Does it?
Mel is innocent.
I don't
I'm
think
guilty of
so.
counterfeit, not murder.
Now let me
Yeah.
ask you. There was a top hat in his pocket.
Yeah.
So what did you steal from Frath?
I don't steal nothing from Frath.
What did you burgle from Frath?
Oh, burgle?
Yeah. Would you?
Sorry, I don't speak French.
yeah.
I'm angry that you're insinuating I burgled anything from Frath.
Vroom, vroom.
Vroom, vroom.
Good
Vroom,
job.
vroom, vroom.
Whoa, we don't do three.
It's okay.
Different energy.
Sorry, I forgot something real quick. A few days earlier in Paris, I dined with Frath and Nadia, and I was away from the table for a moment. And when I returned, I heard some spoken words, and all I heard was, "No, it's a part of my collection now, and you'll never get it back."
Like the tiara.
Ding, 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 ding.
Come back now.
Cookies.
Oh, cookies.
Ooh, cookies.
Yeah.
Dessert round.
Thank you.
That's nice.
These famous Amos?
Famous.
So when we arrived on deck to greet Frath all together before our evening meal, it was 4:50 p.m. And the only guests in sight were Miles and Desiree, but we knew that, right? You all were talking on the deck when that was happening. You're sitting
sun
there.
deck.
Yeah.
Not
You guys.
the moon deck.
No. The
We
sun deck.
talk a lot.
You guys are sitting together in close conversation, probably about cars.
Not too close.
Definitely about
As you
Just about
turn,
A respectable close distance.
I turned to follow Frath to walk down below. I noticed something. Miles and Desiree weren't standing right next to each other anymore. In fact, Miles, you were over by the edge.
I had to fight.
You had a fart with the toolbox of the engineers right next to you, and maybe
That's
like.
what I farted.
Oh, that's
okay.
to collect the fart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone smell that
I am a
toolbox.
dashing French gentleman.
Oh.
I don't fart into the air.
No. Don't put your derriere out like that. It's the same box that I took the wire cutters from. But yeah.
Y'all, the Monte Carlo Opera has attracted considerable attention among some of my friends. It appears that the reigning soprano, Sophia,
My mom.
Yeah.
your mom, died of illness following which Bella materialized as the new star.
And who's Bella?
Now,
Your
that's,
sister.
That's her sister.
I have a sister?
Yeah.
Now, there is some speculation has circulated about the possibility that Bella may have poisoned her.
That's
Although, this could just be gossip.
No, but that's interesting because
Is it?
as I was entering my cabin earlier, having left Desiree's because I was looking for you so we could have more girl talk.
Sure.
And you weren't there. I turned and I saw Bella come out of Frath's cabin and go towards her own, and she carried a small bottle. bottle in her hand.
Interessante.
Interessante. If I do say myself.
Like,
Mon Dieu.
how small? Can you give me
Like a poison-shaped small bottle.
It had a little
say
skull.
poison?
No, it had a skull and
Yeah.
crossbones on it,
Interesting.
and it was radiating a intimidating aura.
Yeah.
Yeah, as poison.
That's
usually
interesting.
does. Yeah, that's very interesting.
I'll tell you what else is interesting.
Right.
At about 5'10", Jules, sopping wet, climbed up on the boarding ladder, toweled off, and commented, "Wonderful swim. I've done my 30 laps for the day."
I also witnessed this
And
exact
then went below.
That's super sus.
So, yeah, y'all, now I actually have an alibi, huh?
Yeah.
I was
At
in the ocean.
5'10", the time of death was between 450 and 5'10".
So I was obviously in the ocean.
Wait,
Yeah,
hold on,
out the
hold on.
porthole?
Hold
For 30
on.
minutes.
If you were in his room, you could jump out of the portholes into the water.
Okay, portholes are usually pretty small.
No. I've seen
Not
a porthole
these
a man,
portholes.
a
No,
man's
these
size. He could jump out of the
Also,
porthole.
this is a gentleman
Every
thief.
single room has a porthole.
Right, and you
But the
jumped.
portholes were open.
These were open already.
We're open.
So,
You can't
Well,
open
so
a
what?
porthole from
I
the
think-
outside.
Well,
I think
trying
the
to say.
so what has been
Has
implied.
been implied.
what y'all trying to say?
Well,
I'm
you're
just
not
saying.
the only one who could have gone through the portholes because
This is also true.
just after that, after 5:10, 5:15, Nadia came up the boarding ladder saying, "I've been rowing and fishing. Such a wonderful exercise."
That's true.
Wow, that's interesting.
But we
It's
did
weird.
see
They
Nadia
both
go out with a
said-
boat, though, right? We
Yeah.
didn't watch Nadia go out with a
Yeah.
dinghy.
And then we heard him volunteer to go with her, and she said no.
But isn't it weird that they both said, "Such wonderful exercise"? One said, "I've done my 30 laps for the day. Wonderful swim."
So,
Yeah.
if I may, you were stealing the crown and you were reeling it up? Is that what was going on, or something along those lines?
I don't know what y'all are talking
Ooh.
Well, we
about.
saw
Oh.
fishing. We saw the fish hook go up.
You know what's interesting? Speaking of that, when I got here earlier, I sat down in my chair and I was surprised.
Whoopee cushion.
I know it was would have been better to sit on a whoopee cushion because what I sat on was hard and it stabbed me. And so I looked in the bag and I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know this bag." And what I find in the bag? The Couronne d'Etoile.
Whose bag was this?
And what is that?
That's the
Nadia's.
crown.
It was my bag.
Nadia's bag.
It was my bag.
And it's the crown of
Roses.
Roses.
No,
Or stars.
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 Yeah.
Yep, crown of
What is
stars.
going on?
Which
Alright.
is what she wanted, because
So
she was
you
rumored to have
hired
it.
the gentleman thief to steal it, or what was that?
Whoa.
I'm just here to say.
Wait, Bella!
Oh, Bella's here.
Bella's here.
She objects.
She's a ghost.
Oh!
I knew it.
All right, so when I was in Fraz's cabin reading his diary, I heard a noise, and I hid it in one of the cabin's wardrobes, right? And then I noticed a small little bottle that I heard my mother say she had given to her father, so I picked it up and took it, which is answering your bottle thing.
It was just a mother bottle.
It's
It's
just
a
a
mother
mother
bottle.
bottle. What can I say? Also, peeking out of the wardrobe after a few moments, I saw Jules and Lucy standing next to the open jewelry safe.
Now,
Lucy was holding something shiny. You pulled the wardrobe closed when Jules looked up.
I have an explanation for
Lucy
that.
was holding the dagger. I'm saying it now. Lucy
No,
was holding the dagger. She was holding the dagger.
You're
She
a
got
lying,
those
you're a
same-
lying piece of shit.
Oh, she's a liar.
No.
I swear
do
on
not listen to the
WC's
Texan.
briefs.
Do not listen to the Texan.
Man, I
Listen to
didn't
me.
do anything
Listen to me.
wrong.
Listen to me. I went to Frat's cabin, yes. I did go into your room and I went through the secret door.
Was
However,
everybody in that cabin?
We love the cabinet. We love the
We should have
cabinet.
told you there was having a
I didn't even know.
Yeah, sorry.
I will say, when I looked up and everybody else was gone, I was like, I think they're having a party. And they didn't tell us.
Yeah, because I wanted to go back and get my dagger because it's my dagger, and I'm not
your
gonna let
dagger.
this creepy old man who wanted to sleep with me keep my dagger.
Yeah.
So I walked in there to try and get my dagger, but the jewelry safe was already open, and then I saw Jules step out from one of the wardrobes. Jules, the jewel thief, who was
Not
trying to
Jules
steal.
the jewelry.
No,
No,
but he was trying to steal my
no.
jeweled dagger.
Oh.
And
Jewels
he smiled.
Are spelled Jewels. Come on.
We can't
Hey,
argue. We
hey,
can't
hey,
argue.
hey,
Can't argue with
hey,
that logic.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's how it's spelled. And then you're J-U-L-E.
Completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like a vape.
Right. Yes.
I'm like the vapor.
No, for sure. However,
1925
You-
vapes.
yeah. you wanted the dagger in my hand. You were happy to see it, but as you came near, clearly trying to attack me and steal it from me, we heard a heavy sound, like a giant thud, at one of the stern portholes. portholes.
Oh.
Okay, we did hear that heavy thud. I feel like you are exaggerating about me coming forward.
I'm
and
not.
attacking you.
No, I'm gonna say.
What was
because-
the thud?
No, because here's the thing. I jumped at the sound and I cut myself on the sharp blade, explaining the blood on the floor. And then I dropped the sheath, ran out of the cabin, and I dropped the dagger, which stuck point down in the deck. And then you hid in the wardrobe, which means I couldn't have put it in his chest. It was on the deck.
Oh my God, guys, I have a confession to make.
Okay.
Oh, you killed him?
I'm American.
Oh, okay.
I'm a dancer.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we got that.
I fell in love with a guy named John Smith.
Yeah.
Anyway, he abandoned me.
Yeah,
I
we gotta
danced
let you.
Yeah.
I just want everyone to know that the Sarzina felt bad for me and made me an attendant of hers.
Okay.
And when the Russian Revolution came, I escaped with them. I don't know where they are anymore, but I have their jewels.
Oh, okay.
And I really needed the money, so I sold the crown to WC. And now these guys are here to get the crown back, and I don't have it anymore.
And he did burgle the house.
Guys, for the last time, I don't know what you guys think I'm up to at this time. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Right.
wait,
Okay.
what were you doing
Oh,
in the
You're
fishing
having a
stuff?
good 30 laps of
I'm
swimming.
not
They just
really-
know it was me that took it.
Yeah, 'cause-
so I just really wanted the crown back.
What
so
were you
I
doing with the fishing stuff?
So to survive in Russia, you kind of have to learn to fish, right? Which
Understood,
I did.
understood,
And I learned
understood.
so many techniques when it comes to fishing
Right.
and throwing fishing line
Right.
and grappling fishing line onto certain things like portholes.
So that was the
And-
thud we heard towards the porthole.
Yes. So I did. Yes, I climbed into the porthole. I
On
did.
fishing line.
And
Wait,
all I-
Everybody was in this room.
Yeah, not you.
Every
You weren't
single-
allowed.
Not
all
me.
I wanted was the crown, which I grabbed out of already an open safe.
It was already open.
It was already open.
Exactly.
And I heard Fraff's voice at the door. So you know where I booked it to? The wardrobe.
Wait.
Do you know what I
that's crazy.
saw
Yeah.
out the wardrobe?
Yeah.
Already a barely bloody knife.
I did hear in Frath's dressing room. I hid there. But shortly after, I heard Frath's voice at the cabin door. And he roared out angrily. So then that's when I ran into Desiree's cabin, where I heard a knocking at Frath's door. When the knocking subsided, I escaped into my own cabin. And the knocking, I realized later, was the wine steward coming to receive from Frath the champagne that would be served at dinner. He did this every day at around 5 p.m. And the champagne that would be served at dinner would be the counterfeit champagne.
Okay,
pretty
just
good.
before just before 5
where
p.m.
was Jules?
Okay.
Just before 5 p.m., WC popped up on the deck for a moment, quickly went below after nodding politely to Desiree.
And so a few minutes when I was walking Frath to his cabin door in the corridor, we passed WC, who greeted both me and Frath, and then went up on deck. So the
Were
last
you with Frath?
I walked into the door before he went inside.
So everyone was in the room.
Yeah, everybody was in
Where
the
were
room.
you, Jules? What happened? Can you repeat?
Yeah, why were you in the water? The last time
You
I saw
jumped
you,
out the window,
you were
right?
dry.
Window.
You were dry.
Y'all, I didn't burgle nothing, okay? First of all,
You burgled so many people.
How did you leave if we were still in the
We
room?
were both still in the room.
y'all were in the room. I was in the wardrobe because I was hiding after I had done some stuff, not killing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just stuff where you try to take stuff that isn't yours.
And you
Sure.
leave behind
Right.
a little gold top hat.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds pretty cool.
Like someone real cool
Yeah,
do
so
that.
I don't know. That's a really clever idea.
That's super crazy.
I also, we saw each other for sure.
And you saw me run out of the room.
Saw you run out of the room.
Go to
I
the,
heard the same
go
thing
to
that
the
you
secret
heard.
door.
What? No, it's in the same room.
But you went to the wardrobe, which was the.
No, that's how I got there.
Wait,
Yeah.
can I see the map again?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the
sounds-
secret path isn't on
I
there.
It's not- it's not a couple,
went,
is it?
I went to go to find Desiree.
Yeah, you
And
went
she
in
was.
through the
I
wardrobe.
went in through the wardrobe.
3 different wardrobes.
Yeah. There's a lot of
I was
wardrobes.
in
get
one
it.
of those wardrobes,
Yeah, that's what we're all in
y'all.
different
Okay.
wardrobes.
We were all in different wardrobes.
Okay,
Yeah,
Bella.
very Dead by
Bella was
Daylight.
in one too, I think.
Yes, Bella was in the wardrobe.
Perfect.
Because I left the room and Jules stayed in the wardrobe, so there were multiple people in wardrobes that add up to 3.
I initially started in the wardrobe.
Yes.
Then after I saw you, I
Yes.
needed a place to go.
Yes.
So I actually
Wait.
jumped through the porthole. at
Oh,
that
so
time.
as
And that's
we
when I
split.
got into the porthole.
When did you jump through? Before or after we heard Frath? Because then you would have heard Frath too.
I heard Frath for sure. He was a little heated.
Yeah, he was
Okay,
roaring
he was.
angrily.
He roared out in
so
anger.
sorry.
And then I heard knocking on the cabin door.
As did I.
As
Wait,
did I.
so then at that point,
And
you
then I
guys hear
assumed-
anger,
Yes.
Right.
There was a button and a string there. He was closed inside the thing. It would have been a fake bottle of wine. The dagger was right there, right?
Frath was alive until the knock on the door.
Belladonna?
I'm
Bella?
ready for
Bella?
dessert.
Bella
you were
has
the
a
last. You're the last wardrobe.
I have a whole lot of information.
Oh, a whole lot.
Also from WC.
Yes.
But first, Bella, yes, saw Nadia reaching into the safe, coming in,
Okay.
and heard Frath's door, or the voice at the cabin door, and I closed the wardrobe. So I was also in a wardrobe.
Yeah.
After several more moments, I heard silence, quiet nearby, an angry roar from Frath. More silence, and then finally heard knocking on the cabin door. And when it subsided, I quickly slipped out, of Frath's cabin and went to my own.
How did you get out of Frath's cabin?
I sneakily slipped out.
But if there was a knock at the door, how'd you get out?
Oh no!
After the knocking subsided.
After the knocking subsided.
Okay.
This was after the roar from Frath.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait,
Would you ever see his dead body?
Yeah.
No, because the dead body was in the wine cellar.
Wait, but then why was there a roar
So
and
then-
then knocking at his door? I'm confused.
So maybe it wasn't Frath.
Because someone always comes to his door to get
Right.
the bottle of wine for dinner.
So
Right.
it sounds like the
Yeah.
roar was him getting killed.
Right.
And then
And
a waiter
Hold on.
came.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
WC
Oh, I
also
have
here.
WC here.
We're
Yes.
Right, what's up?
All
It
right,
was
so
sometime later after the knock on the door. Well, sometime later after the roar that there was a knock on the door.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So he yelled.
all right, so the whole story, ready? In the late afternoon, a little after 4:50, I was leaving my cabin door. I encountered Frath and Mel walking together towards the cabin.
Yeah.
I heard Frath open the cabin door and then heard it close just as you turned the corner to go up the deck. I did not see Mel again until the cocktail hour. On deck, I saw Desiree. She spotted me immediately and called
did.
out loudly, "Good afternoon, Wellington."
I did. I said, "Good afternoon, Wellington."
Makes
Yep.
sense, yeah.
She seemed nervous and glanced repeatedly
"Yup."
We were
in
trying to
the
figure out where
direction
everyone
of the
was.
upper deck.
I was a little concerned that I wasn't invited to what was happening. I was.
Everybody kept disappearing.
We were like, "Oh, I think they're talking about us."
So I quickly went back to my own, down below, finding the corridor empty. Went up to Frath's cabin door to listen. I heard nothing at all until abruptly Frath roared out of anger.
Right.
Scuffled sounds followed, and then the sound of the door closing. In the distance, vaguely, I heard the sound of motors starting up. And nearer at hand, a rushing sound, as if the wind had started to blow. I quickly retreated to my own cabin, and I heard someone coming from the crew's quarter. It proved to be the wine steward and his assistant, coming as they did every day at 5 to retrieve Frath's,
So the wine
his
steward
selection,
did it.
which is the information.
Thank you.
What's the place of the Noyu liquor in this?
WC brought the bottle and I saw him and he said, "Don't shake it."
That's interesting because something I know is that Noyu is flavored with peach stones, and it gives the taste of bitter almonds. However, if the bottle is allowed to stand for a considerable amount of time undisturbed, the acidic content will rise to the top. The first glass poured from such a bottle will be deadly. A concentrated dose of prussic acid, also often called cyanide.
So I was right the
you
first
were right
time.
the first
I was
time.
right the
I
first
thought
time.
you said arsenic. first.
Because I said cyanide and then I redacted it and I thought it was
Okay.
arsenic, but I was right. It was
Should've gone with your
cyanide.
gut.
Yeah.
So he specifically was like, "Don't make this not cyanide.
yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
Keep this as cyanide."
Yeah, wait, why do you know that?
Who said that to him? Is that WC?
Because she's a vintner. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
yeah, yeah.
Constantly trying to avoid lawsuits like that.
No, understood. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you put labels that say "please shake."
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
please shake. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But on this one, WC doesn't have the label "please shake."
Not my
Is
boobs.
there any more information?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, for sure. I'm
Oh.
pretty sure. No.
I'd love
actually, I'm
some
good.
dessert.
Actually, I'm good.
What?
No, I got it.
You got
That was
it?
everything.
You're
Yeah.
okay?
That's all I
I'm
know.
done.
Guys, it's time
All
to
right.
make your guesses.
Should we go around?
Yeah.
Do it.
I think it's Jules.
How dare you?
Because I did not see where he went. He says he jumped out at the same time I left a cabin. And yet, we can all alibi each other as being in that weird trio scuffle. So we know we didn't do it. So I think it's you.
Wow.
I think it is Mal. It sounds like you went out the porthole, Bella went in a wardrobe, you went in a wardrobe, you went in a wardrobe,
Lots
you
of
get a
wardrobes.
wardrobe.
You
Did
get a wardrobe.
you
You
say
get
you
a
were in a
wardrobe.
wardrobe?
I started in a wardrobe and
Yeah.
then I jumped out the window for the porthole.
Yeah.
It sounds
Out
like
at
there was
first.
some kind of fight and a struggle. The dagger was already there on the deck. You had
I
what
walk.
about
I
the
did
counterfeit
walk him
thing?
to the door.
You walked him in, walked through the wine cellar thing with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, honestly, I don't know if I did it, so that actually is pretty strong.
Thank you.
Yeah, fair play, fair play, fair play.
Can I
Mal's gotta
see?
stop drinking.
Yeah. Oh, no, never. I'm gonna look at this, and I think it's Miles is the killer. Particularly because if we
Is this
look.
because I said it was you?
No, because you used to be a refrigerator. That used to
He
be a
used to be a
refrigerator.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then I made a wish.
and then you became a car. And then you were Lightning McQueen. But before that, when you were in the refrigerators, you were talking about the connection to the
You
wine
gotta
cooler.
take the doors off your
gotta,
refrigerator.
you
I got
gotta.
trapped in a refrigerator once.
I think you ran a hose of maybe carbon monoxide from the offshoot of the refrigerator into the wine cooler.
Whoa.
And that's what's killed him. Is sort of a carbon monoxide poison.
But how did he get in there?
He ran the tube in. Remember, he was
No,
standing.
no. How did Frath get in there?
How did Frath get into the wine cellar?
Yeah.
That I don't know.
Okay. Fair.
Those are all real interesting theories y'all have.
Uh-huh.
Mine's very similar to Miles. I believe Miles is the killer because of refrigeration. I believe refrigeration. I believe that he drank he was upset at Mal.
Me?
No, Frath was upset with Mal
For the wine.
for the wine. I believe that he answered the door and actually took the poison that was not being refrigerated because it had been sitting out. And he went to go check. When he tasted the bitterness, he went to go check in his own wine locker, and that's where he died.
So why is it
Oh.
That you mess with the refrigeration.
Oh, so
But then who poisoned him?
me? No, I
Wait,
didn't make the wine.
whose job was it to like make sure this doesn't turn into cyanide?
WC
Well, it was
brought
a
it.
hand-
Yeah,
WC
WC
Yeah.
brought it to him.
Well, we don't know who brought him
No,
the
we don't
wine.
know who knocked.
We don't know who
that
knocked.
we know it was the wine steward who knocked, right?
Well, we
Yeah.
assume it was most likely the wine
wine
steward.
steward.
I believe
Because
it
it
was
c-
Miles.
I was with Desiree.
You were with Desiree, hanging on the side of the boat, which is where my theory comes in.
And I
yeah,
stretched my arm down to
yeah,
the
you,
porthole.
you had a long tube. You had a long tube to do it.
Okay, all right. I think it was Nadia in collaboration in some way. I think being out fishing is very suspicious. Using a fishing pole as a grappling hook shows an immense amount of ability to plan.
Or a
but
big,
I
thick
think-
line.
Yeah, I think maybe you and Bella were in on it together.
My sister?
Interesting.
Yeah.
You have a sister?
Yeah,
We've never
guys.
talked about her.
Bella's
pretty
been
private.
very strange. It doesn't make any sense, a lot of the things, and Bella had something to actually gain from it.
Money.
You absolutely had every reason to get back at Frath for what
Revenge.
he had done to you,
Right.
abandoning you.
Mhm.
And I could see you
Closure.
collaborating with his daughter to maybe enact that.
I think now I'm gonna go with, because of that timeline, I think I'm also gonna go with Miles.
I'm a lovable idiot.
Because it makes sense with the whole bolt on the door. Like, who else could do that besides Frath himself? You know, and maybe he just killed himself before he even got out of the
We
wine
didn't even
door.
think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think he like accidentally definitely drank the cyanide, or like the cold got to him and he couldn't leave
Okay.
himself.
Yeah.
Is it time to reveal?
It is time to reveal.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I'm number one. To solve the mystery surrounding the death of Archibald Frath, you must understand the series of events that preceded his death. They were numerous and complex, and some of them crimes in themselves. None of the guests is entirely innocent.
Oh.
Captain Mao was a fraud and a drunk. Sure. He had reason to dislike Frath, but little reason to murder him.
For sure.
Come on.
Alright.
Sure.
The true story behind Mao's wartime escapades had become known to Frath, who was not above using it to Mao's disadvantage. More likely, however, Mao would shortly have found himself dismissed as captain of the gilded vessel for reasons of drunkenness and incompetence. Mao's involvement in this affair stemmed, however, from his activities as the counterfeiter of Grapes of Wrath, champagne. As Frath had learned, a large number of imitation Mason Frath bottles had been filled with cheap champagne and marketed to unsuspecting dealers throughout Europe. Unfortunately for Mal, several of those bottles had somehow made their way into Frath's wine locker. When one was served to Frath, much to his outrage, Mal was desperate to retrieve the rest before they were discovered. However, the counterfeit bottles were virtually impossible to detect, so Mal concocted the scheme of cutting the restraining water on all the bottles in the locker. This he did before the ship even left for Monte Carlo, fully expecting the bottles to explode on the crossing, destroying, unfortunately, the good wine in the process of concealing the bad. However, the crossing was uneventful, and Mal spent an anxious afternoon trying to sneak into Frath's cabin to see what had happened. At that time, of course, nothing happened. Mal's plan had been unsuccessful, but had set the stage, loaded the gun, so to speak, for the events to follow.
Who wants to be WC and who wants to be
I'll
Bella?
take Bella.
All right.
You stole everything
You have a
from
sister?
WC.
Yeah, would you like to be WC? You've stolen WC's
yeah.
Underwear and everything, yeah.
Okay.
Wellington Waterloo was in desperate straits. He needed money quickly if he was to save his personal fortune and honor his obligations to Lucy, the heiress of the Gucci fortune. His mismanagement had destroyed. The $1 million policy on Frath's life seemed his only hope. To kill Frath, he selected the liqueur.
We've been just going.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
Containing, as it does, a deadly poison, prussic acid, also known as cyanide. As Desiree explained, if left undisturbed, the heavier substances of the liqueur eventually settled to the bottom, leaving a highly concentrated and lethal dose of poison at the top. The first glass poured out of such bottle would be deadly indeed, unless the bottle was shaken and the poison diluted. This, of course, happened in the natural course of events on a moving ship, and the liqueur was rendered quite harmless before Frath took a sip. WC never realized this and spent an anxious afternoon imagining what had happened when Frath returned. He was conspicuous as he moved relentlessly about the boat, and at the most crucial moment of all, just before 5, stationed himself outside Frath's cabin door to hear and then puzzle over the events that transpired within.
Oh, so WC thought that he killed Frath,
Yeah.
but he didn't.
Attempted murder, but did not succeed.
Who's 3?
That's Bella.
Bella.
Hardly the innocent creature she seemed. Bella was, in fact, a conniving egomaniac.
Well, we knew that.
Oh!
Yeah.
When the
Egomaniac.
reigning soprano, Sofia Giulietta Bonavoce, stood in the way of her opera career, Bella murdered her using, appropriately enough, the poison belladonna as her weapon. Now, it seemed to Bella, Miles and Desiree were plotting against her. She had to protect herself, and so she decided to confront Frath with the fact she had learned from Desiree and the fact that she suspected Miles and Desiree of conspiring to kill him. There would be time later, once she was Frath's sole heir, to concoct her own plan for murder. So Bella, imitating Frath's voice, got into his cabin and snooped about, waiting for him to return. While there, she came across a small antique medicine bottle, like one her mother had owned, and took it with her when she left. Bella did little else of consequence other than to snitch Frath's diary and observe the activities of Jules, Lucy, and Nadia as they each came into the cabin.
Okay.
Whoa.
So Bella saw all 3 of them. All right.
Okay.
Bella set us up with that awful diary entry. I mean, whew, Bella.
Yeah.
Well, thanks,
Yeah.
Bella.
Keep that to
All right.
yourself.
4.
Jules is number 4.
Okay.
Jules is. Hold on to your seats, guys. The gentleman thief.
What? No.
I thought
That's
it, then I didn't.
crazy.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
intended to burgle Frath's safe and had no desire at all to kill that man. Frath, in fact, was a good customer of Jules and had no wish to lose him. The plan to get at the safe was simple enough, except that it required superb athletic ability to carry it out. Jules entered the cabin by lowering himself over the side of the ship at a time when he was unobserved by the crew and other guests. He was barely able to squeeze through the narrow porthole, and his skills as a safecracker allowed him to promptly open the combination lock. There, though, his plan began to fail. Before he could steal a single gem, Jules heard the sound of a nearby door being opened and quickly hid in the wardrobe, one of 3. From there, he observed Lucy enter the cabin and confronted her when she was at the safe. But he played no further part in the activities. However, by opening the safe, Jules made the made possible the critical steps that followed. Jules eventually escaped when the cabin was empty by diving through the porthole and pretending that he had been swimming about the vessel. He, of course, was wearing a bathing suit.
Incredible.
All right.
I don't know
Alright,
why that's
was
the
that
last
four?
sentence.
Yeah,
That's four.
of course.
I'm number 5.
Oh!
I'm really upset because now I know who did it and it makes sense. I'm very upset. Lucy wanted I know it's Goosey, but the Gucci dagger.
Yeah.
The thought of Frath owning it tormented her. Frath has humiliated her, forcing her to hang out with people she didn't want to hang out with, using the threat of exposing her gambling debts. She had already attempted to kill him once before and would have been delighted to have him dead, but her thoughts were only to recover the dagger. Honestly, girl, I get it. Money, shiny things, let's focus on that. Somebody would kill him eventually.
It's yours.
It's
It is
mine,
yours.
and he's hated by so many, it would happen. She knew of the secret door into Frath's cabin and had far less trouble than any of the others getting inside. That's so shady. But by herself had no means of getting into the safe. Only Jules's prior efforts gave her access to the dagger. Delighted to see the safe open, Lucy grabbed the dagger and pulled it from the jeweled sheath. Jules's appearances startled her, as did a moment later a heavy sound at one of the portholes. In a panic, she cut herself on the sharp blade, fleeing the cabin, dropped the sheath and then the dagger. The sharp point of the knife embedded itself in Frath's polished oak deck, next to a few drops of Lucy's blood. Lucy had failed to accomplish her purpose, as had Jules, but now the dagger was at hand for the events to follow. It would shortly be discovered where Lucy had dropped it, and thank goodness there wasn't forensics because her blood was on the floor.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Right.
added, that's just an aside.
6.
Oh.
While Nadia would have killed Frath if necessary, his death was not her primary goal. She needed the couronne d'étoiles
Crown of stars.
There it
to
is.
save her own life. When she came on board, Nadia brought on her heavy fishing tackle and used this, pretending to fish from one of the ship's rowing dinghies. Dinghies. Having rowed around to the stern of the ship, she eventually succeeded in casting her hook into Frath's cabin, where it caught onto the porthole. Using heavy gloves, she pulled herself up with the fishing line and entered the cabin through the porthole.
That is heavy fishing
Yeah, that's
line.
insane.
Right?
Right.
Crazy. It's good
like
stuff.
It sounds like a
Fishing
grappling
line.
hook,
Yeah.
not a fishing line.
100%. She too benefited from Jules having opened the safe and quickly grabbed the crown of stars. She was scarcely in time for Frath when just coming through the cabin door, and Nadia was barely able to hide in the third wardrobe. She listened, as did the others near her, and then escaped the way she had come in, pretending all the while she had been fishing. When Nadia got into the cabin, she noticed the jeweled sheath of Gucci dagger and a few drops of Lucy's blood, but she didn't see the dagger itself, stuck point down in the deck a few feet away. Frath noticed it a moment later and let out a roar as he picked it up, clutching the precious thing in his hands.
Who
Okay.
did this?
Yeah.
I wonder who it was.
Number 7.
Wait, but there's 8.
There's 8.
There's 8.
Desiree plotted to have revenge on Frath from the beginning. She suspected and had nearly proved that Frath had caused the ruination of her family's vineyard. She had been hounded by his persistent advances, which she had resisted, and she resented bitterly having to put up with his grotesque egotism. Frath, as far as Desiree was concerned, had to die. But how? When she learned that Miles and Bella were Frath's heirs, she set out to find an ally. Bella proved suspicious, but Miles was sympathetic and even helpful. She explained her idea to Miles with his background and knowledge in refrigeration equipment. She was able to put the plan into action.
Oh my god.
I acted as lookout, standing alone on the sun deck while Miles went into the refrigeration plant. Whenever anyone approached, I would call out, "Good afternoon," as a warning to Miles.
Miles' execution of Desiree's plan was simple enough. He knew from his prior voyage on the gilded vessel that the refrigeration equipment on board supplied a steady flow of cold air into the sealed wine locker. His plan was to wait until Frath entered the wine locker, this he could hear through the pumped ducting, and then reverse the flow of air by switching pump hoses so that the air was pulled from the locker rather than pumped into it.
Oh my god.
I don't think science works like
The
that. but
sudden
all right.
vacuum created in this way would be more than enough, Miles assumed, to cause suffocation and death. The plan had all the elements of a perfect crime. Miles and Desiree had wonderful alibis. They had taken care to be nowhere near Frath's cabin at the critical time. Besides, the cause of death would probably be thought to be a heart attack, and no one would suspect murder. It was a marvelous plan and in fact succeeded, but hardly in the way Miles and Desiree knew. Miles was stupid, though.
You know, that was portrayed.
To think he would create a vacuum in the wine locker.
Right.
Frath may have noticed a whistling of air and shortness of breath, but it certainly didn't kill him. What the reversal of the pump hoses did accomplish was a lowering of the air pressure in the wine locker at a rather unique and crucial moment. A moment when a series of unrelated events and unconcocted plots combined to have Frath standing alone in his wine locker, clutching the Gucci dagger in his hands and facing an onslaught of 1,000 unrestrained champagne corks that burst loose in unison, followed by hundreds of gallons of champagne. The drop in pressure, though a small one, was all that was really needed to release the forces contained in each bottle. It was Mal's plan then that succeeded, but in a way he had never intended. The effect it had on Frath is hard to imagine. The startled man, bombarded by 1,000 corks and awash in his precious champagne, collapsed to the deck, falling as he did on the deadly Gucci dagger.
It's what he deserves, that bitch.
The champagne quickly flowed out through the drain in the deck of the locker, washing away most of the blood and leaving only dampness and the aroma of fine wine as evidence of its passing. What about the other clues? Mal's... That's what it says.
Yeah, I love that.
Mal's button had been knocked off earlier in the day to fall into a dark corner until washed clear by the rush of champagne flowing through the deck drain. Jules' top hat charm was something Frath carried with him, having acquired it from a rich friend who had once been visited by the gentleman
So
thief.
a lot of rich people love carrying around my calling
It's
card.
actually like
as
a status symbol.
A status symbol of like
And
they
Frath-
arrived.
Wait, is that real?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And Frath had himself thrown the bolt on the inside of the wine locker door.
Yo.
Whoa.
So it was kind of Mal's fault.
Kind of Miles.
It was kind of.
Yeah.
Yo, we
We
need
did it.
to take this to the grave, yo.
Okay, we're all blaming WC, right?
WC.
I'm so sorry. I only made a loud thud at the porthole. I did nothing.
But that's why she dropped the
you
dagger.
did sleep with him, and that's on you. That
If
is
you hadn't
was
scared her, she wouldn't
charming.
have dropped the dagger.
That's true.
Yeah.
It scared the shit out of
And
me.
you should take that fact to the grave.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
moment where if we were in person and I looked at this corpse and I was like, this guy's really bruised from something. Like
yeah.
1,000.
And also, reeks of champagne.
Yeah, like, this is
Champagne.
weird.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
God.
That's how to host a murder.
Hey,
What?
thank you, Vincent Price.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what?
He
I
didn't
see
make
why.
the game.
He just
He
liked
just said
it.
he liked it.
Well, that was Grapes of Frath, everybody, and we're all the killers at the end of the day. It was.
Yay, murder.
I was too stupid to kill him good.
I do love that in there it says, and he was
was
stupid.
stupid.
Yeah.
was
The
stupid.
real murder was the friends we made along the way.
Oh,
Exactly.
Because let's talk,
exactly,
like, let's
y'all.
be real. Everybody here, we're all probably gonna be friends, like in character. After we're like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
hated Frath.
I hated
Oh my
Frath.
God, that dude sucked. Hey guys, this boat's mine now.
Anybody want to roll it back to Monte Carlo?
WC's gotta go though. We did call.
Yeah.
Did.
We
Right.
did call the police.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we'll
yes.
kick him off the boat. We'll put him in
Yeah,
the
the
dinghy.
Coast Guard's coming.
Yeah.
No, we'll
Yeah,
tell
but
the
the
detective he
thingy.
did it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. And be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. We did a murder!
We did a murder!
We did a murder.
We did a murder, and guess what? He deserved it.
Yep.
He
deserved
deserved
it.
Wasn't a
it.
good guy.
Also in this game, because though we're playing in 1925, the game came out in 1985. So they included this in the box, which is a photo contest that you had to mail in a photo of you playing with your friends.
We should do it.
I do intend to mail a photo of us. This says, shoot the guests at your host a murder
I get it.
party.
Look
I
at
get
this.
it.
This is social media.
Yeah.